Today's topic is curse words, swearing, the things we say in the moment, raising your voice, being abrasive, being violently abusive. I say violently abusive and we'll look at the spectrum of that, but I'm going to use myself as an example today because there are some days in my hermetic box where I swear a lot more than other days, but it's just me, so it's okay. But then I go on social media and I put out content, I make videos, and I still use that exact same language and lingo. And yet I scream Jesus and spirituality and faith and religion and love and light and oneness. So how does that work, hermatologist? How does that work at the School of Hermitology? Where is the line between appropriate language, inappropriate language, volume being too high, being too abrasive, being too rude? What is and isn't okay in your opinion, hermatologist? That's what I put out there today because I want to clarify that, and I want you guys to clarify and share your opinions in the comments, because I really want to discuss about how lovely we can all look on the surface, how beautifully spoken we can be on the surface, but that doesn't define character. That doesn't make you any better than me because you don't swear in your content. Because you can have a beautiful communication style that is very plateau and perfected beautifully. Doesn't mean you haven't been a murderer, a killer, committing crime, sex trafficking, yeah? Kingpin. Most demonic demon in the world, narcissistic, evil, vampiric, spirit inside. Who's to know? Who is to know? Because as I've travelled on my journey, knowing that my swear words have really been with me since the start of my reincarnation on this planet, and it's been a tough cycle for me to break. As I hit rock bottom again, go and check out the Understanding Grief from a Grieving Soul content put out earlier. I've returned back to my inner child, and my inner child swears. My inner child is abrasive. My inner child is abusive in the moment, but it's expression. So I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about that in regards to neurodiversity as well. We're not going to dismiss that I need to work on my communication style and stop swearing. We're not going to dismiss that swearing is inappropriate and shouldn't be used in any setting where it's not appropriate, but we are going to talk about the plateau of communication styles, the peaks and troughs of communication, especially swear words, and the nuances of what they mean in different communities, social groups, and what it really means to come from an environment where that is normality, yet move into a corporate, more established environment, or if you desire to, how you have to clean up and be. It's very different if you just decide to create your own school of thought, create your own business, and create your own universal law and degrees of freedom. Then you're free to say what you want, but that doesn't mean you're going to be received well by others. I embrace absolutely every religion, and I want to build an ecosystem that is spiritually rich in support of every single religion. It's really, really important for me. But the way I speak, really disgusting. So where on earth does that fit in with today's society, and how can we make that okay? I will say, if you hear some growling in the back, I do indeed have a cat. She is very close to me today. She's had a very emotional day. I've been up and down, all over the place, full on neurodivergent day, high functioning, really exciting day, mastering some really important elements in business of my creation and wildest dreams, let's call it that. But she is very sensitive. I think it's getting to the menstrual cycle for my gorgeous little feline friend, and she starts to growl like that during that window of time, and she wants extra cuddles and comfort. So we'll bear that in mind. And in that moment, I'm like, stop! I can't speak, cat! What do you want me to do, for fuck's sake? And that's what's kind of dawned on me. I thought, okay, I'm swearing in my own house. The cat's right there, needs more emotional attention. Every time I move, she's right next to me. She's literally my shadow at this time. And I'm just like, for fuck's sake, I don't know how to speak cat. And that's me at a harsher octave today. And I'm owning it because I want to have that conversation. If I shout at my cat or say, for fuck's sake, in a vibration towards my cat, is that abuse? Is that cat abuse? Is that abusive if I shout at my cat? What is, like, because maybe I need to go back to school. Maybe I need to reinvest in better schools of thought, because we are all raised differently. And shouting is normal for me. I'm very loud. I've actually got hearing problems in both of my ears. So I am naturally a lot louder than everyone else because I've got hearing damage in both ears, which is not great. And I haven't had my hearing assessed over the last, better part of 4 years, I would probably say now. So actually, probably 6. Oh, that's awful. I don't want to own that. I've got hearing damage in both ears when I last checked 6 years ago. I don't want to know where I'm at now because I was told it was going to repeatedly decline from 6 years ago. So yeah, I'm loud. And that's natural, but it's even more to deal with when I am using harsher tones and harsher language. I swear a lot. Fuck is my favourite word. That's F-U-C-K. You can take that or leave it, you know? So with that, I just want to understand. A lot of people believe that swearing suggests that you're imbecilic. Do you like the way I threw that in there? Imbecilic. Swearing suggests that you're imbecilic in many people's food for thought, you know? But which is true, many people, there is a percentile out there that go, if you swear and you can't not swear in a conversation, then that just suggests that you're stupid and you're bone idle, you haven't got enough intelligence to use more cleaner words. From my standpoint, this is my plateau. I don't know if plateau is even the right word. You tell me. Maybe I'm being even more stupid now for using that word. But that's my comfort zone. Because I came out of the womb hearing that word. And I grew up using that word. In any situation. I was repeatedly stopped by school and settings, but it was just a programming in me. I would love to say it was Tourette's, because then I could get away with it. But it isn't Tourette's. Maybe, well, we're going to keep assessing it as it goes on. It just flies out and it's natural to me. That's the truth. And it makes me feel better. It helps me calm down. It helps me ground myself. It's my fastest way to transmute. I believe a lot in transmutation. It will be one of the key things we do teach at the School of Hermitology in the future. It's about the understanding of chi, energy, and not only our chakras as well in line with that, but how we cycle through different experiences, patterns in behaviour, schema theory, how we just cycle through verbiage, communication, sing, dance, sensorial, touch, smell, taste, hear, and how we use all of them in conjunction with alignment to our higher self, to that superstring, to that dimension of consciousness, to that thread of equilibrium on a spectrum of monotropism. That brings us right back to the neurodiverse conversation, neurodiversity, right? I am indeed neurodiverse. I am indeed on the spectrum. I am clairvoyant. I like to say I am atypical. I don't function in a normal way. The fact that I can see things in the environment that are not there and see auras and energy and spirit guides and see passed on loved ones and be a psychic and a medium and do mediumship is clearly off of the spectrum. And if that's not managed in a healthy way, I see auras, energies, a lot of different symbol signs, from holographic images to hieroglyphics, to a range of different code, different ideology just spins around in the mind and it shows up in many different ways. This has been a burden for most of my life, something I suppressed in childhood, something I was forbidden from even acknowledging and knew it was very dangerous to even speak or express what I was really seeing, but something that birthed its way out of me in 2016 and forced me to take a real look at my life and go, this is what you're going through, deal with it. And initially I thought I was mentally ill. Always knew I was just a bit, different, awkward. I've just learned to deal with it all. I'm now 36 and I'm really grown, and I've been out of what I would call the conformist elements of the pyramid, because I've taken an independent entrepreneurial route and studied my own discipline after completing a undergraduate degree. So instead of going mainstream or going down a conventional route. I wanted to say consensus there, taking on a specific consensus that would have produced, which would have allowed me to come out as a product of that ecosystem. I would have had a label to carry. I would have had an association to a kind of group, right? So I want to say gypsy here. I want to bring on the ideology of the gypsy here, because you want all the gypsy, the Jewish, the unique believer that doesn't follow the standardized route. I say that because firstly, the Jewish will go to their own school, and secondly, gypsies will go to their own site and location and travel and not remain in school beyond the age of 7 normally. And they'll have a very different life. So it becomes a non-conformist ideology of how we all kind of exist, right? And I say that for me because leaving full-time work in maybe 2016 and then freelancing from there and spending the rest of my life studying and freelancing never made me become a sole... I want to use some crazy words over here. I want to say a sole trader within a fabric already made by man. Does that make sense? We're talking about fabric and dimensions and Einstein's philosophies of general relativity. Fabric, right? Fabric of the atmosphere, dimensions of consciousness. Because if I went to stay in a school, I'd be a key worker, a teacher, an early years practitioner, a nursery nurse if we want to go back in the ages. If I wanted to go into tech directly, then I would be a developer working for a specific kind of company, and there'll be a specific kind of standard that's needed. But I've gone freelance from 2016 all the way up until now, 2024, and I haven't been managed by anyone. Lecturers, senior lecturers, people giving me my grades, the site that I worked on for that week, that day, that month. But other than that, I've been the lead. I've been trying to build my own business. I've been a full-time student. I've been an entrepreneur. I've been studying and researching. I've been out on my arse. I've been broke. I've been homeless. All the fun stuff, right? But through that journey, I've realised, whoa, that's why I'm like this now. This is a painful reality for many out there. And that's why I step forward and I feel like I am paving the way for many of us, because I've done the research on the way here, and I hope so many of us are going to be okay in the future that have also taken on a social media influencer role, experiment, or desire to do something that's a little bit out there, fucked up doing it, made a mistake on the way, lost family and friends in reality through bereavement, passing on, or actual disagreements and unalignment to the rest of your family because spiritually you've transcended to a place where now everyone looks at you like, who the fuck are you now? You just don't get awe. Or vice versa, you may feel that way about them too, you know? Like attracts like, and unlike attracts unlike. Suddenly we don't vibe. Suddenly you don't know me anymore. You don't recognize me. I'm too fluid for the conversation. So there's more and more of us coming up now with our innovative, unique ways of doing things. Vomiting out words like this, trying to make sense of our realities. Sometimes that involved a lot of swear words, a lot of confusion, a lot of jibber jabber. But we've got to keep going. Because if I stop, I'm going to fall to the floor and I'm going to have nothing, and I'm going to be struggling for the rest of my life. I've got to keep pushing. I came this way for a reason. Yeah? And there's so many other people that have also come this way for a reason. And we've all created our own reality where we can say what we like. I don't know why my voices are going up and down like this. Bear with me, right? This is the neuro in me, live and direct, guys. But we can say what we like. We can do what we like. The liberation is there. And then we look around at the rest of the world and we go, oh, some people haven't got these liberties. Some people haven't got these rights. Some people haven't got these degrees of freedom because they're still tethered to that job where they have to code switch to this way of behaviour. They have to conform to this narrative. And that's hard because I hate the ideology that I'm knocking people down and suggesting that people are conformists. We need conformist energy. I know I like to know people who they are, and I like them to show up in a way where it's easy to identify who you are. Otherwise, I'm confused. You're this way, you're that way, you're this way, you're that way, you're there. Wow, confusing. You get someone's dress sense. You work in a school or education sector, you dress a certain way. I used to dress like a grandma in that sector. Shirts buttoned up to my collar. The moment I moved over to the social media influencer energy and took on the tech, I was like, get your tits out, liberation. We've got OnlyFans people over here we're working with. We're in the music industry. I'm going to wear this blazer, and God forbid I don't even need to wear a top. I'm just going to wear the blazer on its own. Let's channel Jordan and Katie Price. And do you know what? Jodie Marsh, I live for you. Lucy Pinder, where are you now? Right? Pinner? The old school Page 3 and glamour models from back in the day that I grew up with. Kate Moss, Naomi Campbell, Russell Brand, may I add, Amy Winehouse, Lily Allen, Nikita Oliver, Simon too, the whole crew. Simon Pegg on that note as well. Ricky Gervais on that note as well. J.K. Rowling, let's throw her in. We all love to swear. The Brits have got a real problem. So I feel guilty when I'm associating with anyone else from anywhere else. But I'm telling you now, the Brits know how to get down with the swear words. Because Shameless was one of my favourite TV shows growing up. Because I really resonated with the characters in the story. So that explains everything you need to know about me. My dad, God, Dad up there, I know you're listening, please laugh at this joke and don't take offence, but my dad was quite like Liam Gallagher from the Shameless TV series at times, when he wasn't incarcerated. So we've got to hold that into perspective of my upbringing. I'm trying to reform. I'm trying to be more spiritual. I am trying to account for all of the nuances of my identity. I am. But I still swear like a true part. And I come from their ends. So what do you want me to do? I'm trying to clean myself up and go up market. But every time I'm up market, out slips a swear word. And I can't cover it up. I can't cover it up with quantum mechanics or anything. I don't even desire to cover it up, and that's the problem. Because I don't want to be fake, I don't want to be disingenuous, I want to be happy, I want to be free, and I want to be me. But I don't want to advocate for swear words, and I don't want to talk to people that I really love. Like, there's so many people on Twitter I love, like Sadhguru, and I always say his name, Deepak Chopra. I always say his name wrong, I'm really sorry, I'm awful at this. But I think it is Deepak Chopra. Right? But I love him very much. I love them both. And I know they would very not be impressed with me as a human being for my swear words. And that makes me sad. Because I'm like, I love Sadhguru so much. And I can't even tell him like he's a real guru and guide in my life. Because he would just look at me and go, then I failed. Do you get what I mean? Like, I feel guilty to even associate with really higher level spiritual people. Because I think I'm a disappointment to what the stereotype and narrative of what it should be to be a spiritualist and a monk and anyone who believes in, I'm not even a monk, but do you get what I mean? I'm somewhere out there spiritually, and I am really wise, and okay, I'm not as humble as the others, okay, I'm a little bit more radical in stance, but that's because I've done it in my own unique way, and that's because I live in the West, and I've taken Eastern philosophies that really are ingrained in my DNA, my ancestry, my heart more than anything else, and I've tried to make it make sense for me in the corporate institutional lane that I have to still live in. So I hope that that's understandable, and I hope that no one's ever hurt or offended by my approach. But I can't guarantee that, you know? And it makes me a little bit like, damn, I've got to be better than this. I've got to be better than this. But I can't kick myself because, firstly, I think I'm pretty awesome. I've got to say. I've been through a lot of shit in my life, so for me to even be able to talk like this now and just be me, it feels fucking sick, you know? But then I think, oh my God. In that same breath, I've just sworn again, and it's such a letdown to so many people who really think that swear words are just disgraceful. There's certain religions that would just immediately dissociate and be disgusted by me. And that hurts, because I would love to just embrace every single religion uniquely and get to know every single one of their communities ethnographically and engage with more and more faiths and provide space for a range of different stuff. For them to kind of be recognised and seen, and for them to really teach and speak their truth, to educate us more. I desire more education. But I desire more education through all of it, through nuance. And a lot of religions kind of forbid that and say, hell no. you know, and I am seeking more divergent individuals that are like, do you know what, it is okay. If that's who you are, that's okay. Pastor Boshoff wouldn't judge me. He would tell me off and he would really be unimpressed, but he wouldn't judge me. He would just show me the way. And that's all I desire, yeah? More Mandalorians saying this is the way, come on, you know? And I'm not perfect, and this has turned into a bit of a soppy little confession on my part. I guess this is what I really feel, I guess, you know? Because I want to be so much more for humanity, the community, society, and it's just, I can't be perfect either. And I can't be fraudulent. I can't lie. And there's nothing worse internally for me when I have a swear word sitting on my heart chakra and I can't get it out. I feel like limited. It's like, I've got to get it. Maybe that is Tourette's. I'm going to study Tourette's. Because when it does come out of me, the swear words, it doesn't stop. And it is just like, there's some Touretteism inside of me. I don't know. But it's interesting because I've been able to suppress it for a long window of time. I've been able to suppress a lot in life. And what I will say is the more that I go out on my own and I break away from the status quo and I keep going this unique path, the more I notice how much more neurodiverse I am, how much more neurodivergent I am, how much more I can't look back to anyone else for a place to lay my head or fit in. I don't fit in more and more. Do you get what I mean? So I have to keep going forward now. Because I'm thinking there's going to be loads of people, but I tell this to everyone all the time. Loads of people are coming behind me and they haven't been doing the research I have. They've just ended up here by accident. Everyone's walking up this way, guys, because they've seen that this is the way. But I've been scaling this. I've been scaling the solutions all the way here. So I'm just telling you, they're coming. So I can't stop and sit here and murmur and cry and go, oh my gosh, I need to clean my act up before I get to the pearly gates. Metaphorically speaking, let's say the, what's it called? I have no idea. The city in Oz. Please someone write in the comments, what is the city of Oz? At the end of the yellow brick road, right? Do you know what I mean? Because that's what it feels like. When I get there, to the end, there's still going to be people coming behind me. And why do I take on such a responsibility in my mind? Because I feel like people are not seeing the full perspective of what's going on here. With my monotropic vision, with my clairvoyance, I do see what's going on. And I'm so worried that the factions of humanity stress me. The more rigidity going on, the more economic struggle. The way I look at it, and this is what we're going to say on the outro and leave it as that. I've seen where I've come from. And I've seen the devastation after the fact. What I was living in was never wrong for me, for I was in it, and that was my reality. And I would never intentionally disrespect or devalue where I've come from. But you don't know what you don't know. And the desire is for me to be able to be twice removed from that situation, to have a better view, a bird's eye view, a full perspective, as I refer to as from the Fibonacci center outwards to the chrono and beyond. And I've identified layers out beyond the chrono too, that I didn't even speak on. So I'm just going to hold that there and say, we need a better perspective, because when we're staying in our rock pool, we can't see beyond that. The Einstein quote that really was pushing me forward in my career for a long time, back in 16, 17, 18, was that goldfish quote. Everyone is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its whole life thinking it is stupid. I look back at where I've been, where my intelligence has been, where my mind frame has been, where my heart, dreams, desire has been, where my manifestations have been, where my potential of self has been, and I go, whoa, look at where I'm at now, because I scaled independently on my own, having no choice just to keep going, or I'm going to die out, and just listening to Jesus, and he's saying, this is the way. mouthful of swear words, but Jesus is right beside me and he believes, and I speak to Allah. And I speak to all of the deities too. I speak to Horus, I speak to Kali Ma, I speak to Krishna too. And I don't want to feel guilty internally for being that version of self and believing in what I believe as well. And it feels fraudulent, dishonest, fake, scammy, but it's me and it's the truth. And I'm judging myself by other people's narratives and stereotypical ecosystem bubbles, if that makes sense. Their theories, their philosophies, their doctrine. And I don't ever want to take away from their doctrine because I love their doctrine, but I'm not going to lie that I hear Jesus. Jesus has saved me many times from the words that he's told me. I'm not going to act like I don't see Kali Ma, or Krishna, or Hanuman, or Horus. I'm not going to act like I don't see passed on loved ones. I'm not going to act like I don't know how the other side works, or that I haven't got passed on loved ones coming back and forth from the other side. I'm not going to act like I can't connect with passed on legends, passed on greats who have left threads and strings open all across this plane, this field, may I add, that I unify when I choose to connect with them and align the dots through actor network theory, string theory, M theory, general relativity. I care about the planet and I care about me, but I don't always come across that way. And I guess this is my first attempt at trying to explain my approach and my language and my insecurities, I guess, are coming up here today. But this is the way, for real, for me. And it would be so nice if you guys are out there and you find this one day and you could just, what is your way? I would love to hear what your story is for This Is The Way, because there's so many unique different stories out there. And I say this is the way, and I'm referring to me only. I would never want to place that on you or anyone else or any other religion, any other faith or belief system. But I would love to be able to still swear, never swear in a place of religious or in front of anyone who would despise that, but still just have me entirely. And I know when to shut up and say the right thing and not put my foot in my mouth, but every now and then I'm a little bit of an arsehole. Because I just like to reign free and get naked and run through the trees and cartwheel and roly-poly. What? Naked and wild, you know? And I want to do better. But I want to do better so I feel like I fit in. And so I don't feel like an outsider. And so I don't hurt anyone else. And so I'm not a laughing stock. You know? Not because I generally desire to be like anyone else. I desire to learn. I desire to listen. I desire to sit there and hear everyone give their perspective on anything to do with their life. And this was what this channel was initially meant to be. And it will eventually become when the funding and the resources are there for it. For everyone to just share their unique story and just live in that moment. This shouldn't just be me talking, but for now it is. You know, I do have other stories actually that I've worked that are out there that I haven't actually finalised editing, but time is limited for me at this time. Time is incredibly expensive as well. So I'm going to journey on. I'm going to keep finishing the super alignment in line with all the other projects happening at the School of Hermitology for the prospectus release at the end of this year. And then we'll see where we go from there. We will. But it was nice to come here and just reflect with you and think, because now I've got a lot more to think on. I'm going to leave this as a part 1 if you would like. Let me know, hit like. And I'll do a part 2 after I've reflected on this, because it has brought up a lot up in my mind about unique journeys and independence and my desire to conform at a time where I'm a little bit fearful that I'm too much for humanity, you know? And that's because so much rad and cool out there things are happening. And I hate the ideology that just because I'm me and I say the things I do, that so many people are immediately going to be turned off and assume that I'm not intelligent, that I'm not smart, and just totally disassociate. And I just degrade myself by taking such polarities in approach. And that really just gets me upset and ikes me. It's like, damn. I want them to hear. I want to hear them. I want to hear them. I want them to hear me. But I also want to hear them, because I want to be better. because I'm obsessed with universal law. And if I can truly understand what you're telling me about my discrepancies, then I can learn to do better. And then I could see the through route for not only you and your path, but the next person. This is science, philosophy, every branch of science we're referring to. Yeah? From the neuron to the dendrites to the photons to the protons, you know? To the micro, to the macro, to the meso, to the chrono. Yeah? To meiosis, mitosis, right? From the O to the 1. From the neurotransmitters. From all of it. I want to understand the phases of originality and inception, the birth of that ideology from the start of time. And I want to be able to say, well, do you know that this also has that ideology within it too? Because I see the interconnected nature of all things. And then in the back of my mind, I'm screaming, say less, Antichrist, Antichrist, stop talking Antichrist. And then I'm like, God, I'm never going to win in this world. But this is the way for me and the School of Hermitology. Her tech's safe because it's digital and it's liberatory tech. So it's out there, it's fine. But the talking part of it, that's the School of Hermitology right here, who's got to bite the bullet and make sense of all of this still. To you guys. So I'm going to keep working on me. One day there'll be loads of other people working on hermitology.me too. So until then, you stuck with me. You're going to have to help me out in the comments, guys. Let me know what you think about this. And then I'm going to reflect on all of this, let it digest, and I'm going to come back with some interesting further perspective. Love and light.